Good day, class. This will serve as our recorded lecture for the Module 4 ng Engineering Data Analysis. And continuation siya ng discussion natin last Module 3, which is Discrete Probability Distribution. So kung may discrete tayo, syempre meron ding continuous. And itong continuous, medyo may clear yung discussion natin since straight to the point kasi yung formulas na gagamitin natin, and onti lang din yung pinrepare kong questions or sample problems kasi ibibigay kong activity yung iba pa. Okay, so for this module, we aim to recall the statistical distribution na continuous nga. Ano ba yung continuous variables and data, then recognize the types of continuous distribution, and to evaluate probability problems for the normally distributed area, pati yung iba pang types. Okay, so again, for continuous probability distribution, pag sinabing continuous data, ito yung mga data na that can be measured, not just counted. Kasi diba, pag discrete data, yan yung mga data or variables na kayang gamitan lang ng counting numbers, no? So pag continuous, ito yung mga kayang i-measure accurately, like height, weight, time, distance, temperature, and iba pa. Okay, so for the types of continuous probability distribution, we have three main types. So isa-isahin natin. First, we have the uniform. Uniform distribution. Ang itsura ng uniform distribution, so sabihin natin, we have a data. Diba, kung naaalala nyo, sa discrete probability distribution, we have x and f of x, diba? Or x and the probability of x. Pagdating dito sa uniform distribution, ganun din yung concept natin. Pero since malaki nga sobra yung data set natin pagdating sa continuous, it is very inefficient kung gagawin natin yung ganito. Yung ganyan. Kung isa-isahin natin, kasi nga infinitely many siya, no? So medyo impossible na, or inefficient, impractical na gawan siya ng ganong klaseng distribution. So pagdating sa continuous probability distributions, usually ang makikita nyo dyan ay graph. So we have the independent variable na x and the dependent na f of x. Okay, so pagdating sa uniform, ang makikita nyong, or makikita ko dapat na pag pinagawa ko yun ng graph ay ganito. It is just a constant f of x function. So another thing din pala, pagdating sa continuous probability distribution, yung f of x na makukuha natin ay area, no? So pag sinabi nating area, hindi tayo makakuha niyan na probability of, sabihin natin, x is equal to a. Sabihin natin, itong point na to ay a. Equal yan sa 0. Bakit? Kasi nga, since area, yung kinukuha natin, kung sabing area, dapat meron kang base and height, diba? So sabihin natin, kahit meron siyang height, wala siyang width. So therefore, yung area niya ay 0. Okay? Then another thing, since hindi natin kino-consider yung isang single point, pagdating sa continuous, the probability of x is less than a ay same lang sa probability of x is less than or equal to a. Kasi kung maalala nyo sa discrete, magkaiba yan, dalawang yan, di ba? Ang nagiging graph niyan yung parang step function. Remember? Naalala nyo pa yon. So pagdating sa continuous, since meron nga tayong concept na ganito, equal lang itong dalawang to. Okay? Then, you also need to remember na since itong area na nakukuha natin, area under the curve or area under the line, ay always equal to, total area is always equal to 1. So, bakit? Since probability nga yung ino-consider natin dun sa area, ano lang ba ang total probability, di ba? 1. No? So, yun lang naman yung mga kailangan nating tandaan pagdating sa continuous probability distribution. So, balik tayo kay uniform. Pagdating kay uniform, para makuha natin yung f of x niya, yung function niya, we have the formula f of x is equal to 1 divided by b minus a. So, sabihin natin, burahin natin to. Ito si a, ito si b. So, the f of x is equal to 1 divided by b minus a. Then we also have its mean na equal to a plus b divided by 2. Simple. Then finally, we have its variance or standard deviation pala, sorry. We have its standard deviation na b minus a all over square root of 12. So, yan yung mga formula sa kailangan yung tandaan pagdating sa uniform probability distribution. Okay? So, next. Gawin muna natin to. Next, we have the normal continuous distribution. So, pagdating sa normal continuous distribution, kung kanina sa uniform ay flat lang yung f of x natin, dito ang makikita natin pagdating sa graph ay yung tinatawag nating bell curve, no? So, pagdating sa normal continuous distribution, ang kailangan nating tandaan ay itong bell curve natin ay symmetrical. So, for example, hinatiin natin siya sa gitna. Itong side na to, left side ay equal sa right side, no? Since symmetrical nga siya. So, paano ba nabubuo yung bell curve? So, nabubuo yung bell curve kapag meron tayong mean. So, sabihin natin, itong gitna na to, yan yung mean. Then, yung pag-disperse ng variation ng data mo ay pababa ng pababa from your mean. So, doon tayo nagkakaroon ngayon ng bell curve na distribution ng data. So, again, same lang din sa uniform. Yung total area niya, equal pa rin yan sa 1. No? Pero, ang pinagkaiba dito, pagdating sa normal distribution, ay meron tayong fixed na values regardless kung ano yung data natin. So, lakihan natin yung figure natin. Okay, tayo mag-straight. Ayaw Okay. So, again, we have the bell curve, no? Pangit. Wait lang, isa pa. Last one. Okay, so we have here the bell curve. Sabihin natin, Itong bell curve na to ay related sa age. Average age ng mga, sabihin natin, average height. Average height ng mga lalaki sa Pilipinas. So, sa gitna ng bell curve natin, we have, lagi yan, tandaan, na ang nasa gitna lagi ay mean. Okay? Then, next na cut niyan, since variation nga, or deviation from the mean, yung tinitignan natin, we can say na sa left side ng mean ay -1 standard deviation, no? Then sa right side niya ay +1 standard deviation. Then ganun din sa susunod. So next naman, we have -2 standard deviation and +2 standard deviation. Then last, we have -3 standard deviation and +3 standard deviation. Okay? So, regardless of data, it is known that from -1 standard deviation up to +1 standard deviation, it encompasses 68.268% of your overall data. So, tandaan nyo yung mga values na binibigay ko kasi nga, regardless sa data natin, basta pag sinabing isa siyang normal continuous distribution, ito yung value niya. Okay? The next, from -2 standard deviation up to the +2 standard deviation, it is known that it encompasses 95.45% of your overall data. Then last, from the -3 standard deviation up to the +3 standard deviation, it encompasses 99.73% of your whole data. Okay, so since symmetrical nga siya, paano natin malalaman kung, for example, ang hinahanap lang natin ay from -1 standard deviation to our mean? Yun lang yung probability na hinahanap natin or the area under the curve. So, since symmetrical nga siya, simply divide this value into 2. No? So, divided by 2, we can say that -1 standard deviation to the mean is 34.134%. The same goes from the mean to the +1 standard deviation. Okay? So, the same applies here and here. Pero paano natin i-analyze yun? Since ito lang yung hinahanap natin, itong area lang na -2 standard deviation to -1 standard deviation, ang gagawin natin, simply divide this by 2 and then subtract si 34.134% and we'll end up with 13.591%. Okay? The next, we have same principle apply dito sa kabila. We'll end up with 2.1%. Ngayon, sir, sabi niyo po total ng area ay 1. So, bakit dito from -3 standard deviation to +3 standard deviation, ang value lang ay 99.73%. Simple lang kasi yung mga sumobra na or lumagpas na dun sa standard deviation natin, sila na yung bubuo dun sa kulang natin. So, ilan na lang ba yung kulang natin? 0.27, no? So, 0.27 divided by 2 minus yung natira dito, no? So, we will end up with 0.135%. Okay, so tandaan nyo tong figure na to pagdating sa normal continuous distribution kasi nga, again, regardless of our data, ito yung kakalabasan or ito yung magiging reference natin sa paghahanap ng probability. Okay? So, next, we have burahin muna natin ito ulit. So, i-post nyo na lang yung video kung hindi nyo pa nakakopya. Since recorded naman to. Next, tapos na tayo sa uniform, tapos na rin sa normal. We have the exponential. Continuous distribution. Ang magiging itsura naman nito, since exponential nga siya, ay isang parabola-like na figure, no? So, again, we still have here our x, then our f of x. Then, ang key idea dito ay our f of x always decreases as x increases exponentially. Kaya nga siya Kaya nga siya tinawag na exponential continuous distribution. So, for exponential, our formula will be f of x is equal to lambda times Euler's number raised to negative lambda times x, wherein lambda is equal to 1 over our mean. No? So, the probability of x is less than x is equal to 1 minus e raised to negative lambda x, and the probability of x is greater than x is equal to e raised to negative lambda x. So later makikita natin ano ba tong probability of x is less than x and probability of x greater than x, kung paano natin magamit tong mga formulas na to. So proceed tayo sa example problem. So, unahin natin si uniform probability density function. Yun nga pala, pagdating sa continuous probability distribution, it is also called as probability density function. Since ang tinitignan nga natin ay yung kabuuang area ng figures natin. So, kaya siya tinawag na density function. So, first example, the amount of time a person must wait for a train to arrive in a certain town is uniformly distributed between 0 to 40 minutes. So, we are asked to find A, determine the PDF natin, or the f of x. Simply, pinapasolve sa atin si f of x. Then, pinapagraph din sa atin si f of x natin. Then, see what is the probability that a person must wait less than 8 minutes. So, probability of x less than 8. Then, letter D, we are asked to find what is the probability that a person must wait more than 30 minutes. So, probability of x greater than 30 minutes. Then, calculate the probability of x is greater than 10 but less than 26. Then probability of x is equal to 20, and also probability of x is greater than 45 minutes. Then we are also asked to calculate the mean and our standard deviation. So may formulas naman tayo niyan kaninang binigay ko. Then we're also asked to find what is the 85th percentile. So makikita natin ano ba yung percentile and paano siya kinukuha, no? Since bakit importante itong percentile? Kasi kapag nag-conduct na kayo ng thesis nyo, and most probably yan, ang magiging thesis nyo ay isang quantitative study, no? So pagdating sa quantitative, sinabi ko na rin to before, most probably yan, ang magiging data nyo ay continuous. Kasi measurements ang gagawin nyo doon, no? Accurate measurements. So pagdating sa data nyo, usually yan kapag continuous nga, mag-encounter kayo ng mga analyzations na kukunin nyo yung percentile, yung quartile, yung decile na percentage or tawag dito, part nung data nyo. So kinukuha siya kasi nga most commonly yan sa pagdating sa mga large data sets. So, for example, ang gusto niya i-consider ay yung up to 50th percentile lang, no? So, again, ma-encounter natin siya sa pag-solve nung problem natin, kung paano nga ba siya kinukuha. Pero, ayun nga, ma-encounter nyo rin naman siya again pagdating sa thesis nyo, okay? So, unahin natin si A. Sabi daw kay letter A, nahanap si probability density function natin, which is f of x. Remember that our f of x is equal to 1 divided by b minus a. So, since ang given sa atin ay, balikan natin, 0 to 40 minutes, that we can say that 0 is equal to our a and 40 is equal to b. No, so, f of x is equal to 1 divided by 40 minus 0, which is equal to 1 over 40. So, yan ang f of x natin. Is equal to f of x. Nasolve na natin agad yung letter A. The next, for letter B, pinapagraph daw sa atin si PDF natin or si f of x. So, natin siya i-graph. Meron tayong x-axis, meron tayong f of x axis. So, si x daw, independent variable natin, which is the time. It ranges from 0 up to 40. So, sabihin natin dyan si 40. Then, si f of x natin, since linear lang naman siya, 1 over 40. Okay, so, tetrace lang natin yan. Yan. So, paano natin ma-check kung tama? Sabi daw dapat ang total area under the curve should be equal to 1. Tama? So, base times height is equal to 40 times 1 over 40. So, our total area is equal to 1. Tama. Tama naman yung nasolve natin so far. So, nasolve natin si A and si letter B. Proceed naman tayo kay letter C. Sabi kay letter C, probability that a person must wait less than 8 minutes. So, probability of x is less than 8. So, paano natin masasolve yun? Paano natin masasolve? Since, hinahanap natin, sabi natin, nandito banda si 8 minutes. Ang hinahanap sa kanya, burahin mo natin to. Ang hinahanap sa kanya ay less than 8 minutes daw. So, it ranges from 0 to 8 minutes. So, ito yung hinahanap natin. No? So, paano natin mahanap yan? Again, area under the curve lang is equal to base times height, which is 8 times 1 over 40. Cancel. 1, tsaka 5 is equal to 1/5. Or simply, 20%. Tama ba? Tama. Nakuha natin si C. Then, si letter D naman. Sabi daw, what is the probability that a person must wait more than 30 minutes? So, kung kanina ay nahanap si less than 8, this time, probability that x is greater than 30, greater than 30 minutes. So, paano natin makuha yun? Same principle. Sabihin natin na dito banda si 30 minutes. Trace lang natin. Greater than 30 minutes daw. So, ang i-consider natin ay 30 up to 40. So, ano magiging base natin? 40 minus 30. So, ilan yun? 10 times 1 over 40 is equal to 1/4. Or simply, 25%. No? So, basic na basic, diba? Simpleng-simple lang. Area lang ng rectangle. Then, next natin si letter E. Sabi daw kay letter E, calculate. Tatlo yung pinapahanap. Probability. Unahin natin si probability that x is greater than 10 minutes but less than 26 minutes. So, simple lang ulit. Kahit di na natin i-graph. Remember, isa sa characteristics ng continuous probability density function ay si P of x is less than A ay equal lang kay probability of x is less than or equal to A. So, ang i-consider natin dyan ay mula kay 10 up to 26. So, ang base natin ay 26 minus 10, which is 16, times our height na 1 over 40. Cancel. We will end up with 2 over 5, no? Or simply, ano yan? 40%. Tama ba? 2 divided by 5. Tama. 40%. Then, next, hindi pa doon natatapos sa letter E. Sabi daw, probability of x is equal to 20. So, isang tingin pa lang, kung naalala niyo yung sinabi ko kanina. Kapag dating sa continuous probability density function, kailangan natin lagi ng area. Ito ba, makakabuo ba ng area yan? Ha? Tingnan nyo dito, sabihin natin dito si 20. Probability of x is equal to 20. So, isang linya lang siya. Although meron kang height, wala kang base kasi wala kang range eh. Wala kang range ng base mo or ng x mo. So, therefore, since di ka makabuo ng area, equal to 0. Okay? The next, sabi daw, probability of x is greater than 45 minutes. Paano yan? Yung data mo hanggang 40 minutes lang. So, sabi natin dito sa 45. Ang hinahanap mo ay area na nandito. Hindi naman siya covered ng data mo eh. So, paano ka mag-aaroon ng area dyan? Therefore, your probability ay 0 din. Which makes sense kasi sabi sa problem, the amount of time a person must wait for a train to arrive is between 0 to 40 minutes lang. So, yun lang lagi yung average niya or yun lang yung time na kailangang hintayin para dumating yung train. 0 to 40 minutes lang. So, ano raw yung probability na greater than 45 minutes? Di 0 kasi nga, 0 to 40 minutes lang eh, di ba? So, makes sense naman. Then next, for letter F, sabi daw, calculate the mean and the standard deviation. So, balikan lang natin yung formula. For the mean ng uniformly distributed function, mu is equal to a plus b divided by 2. Simpleng-simple. Si a ay 0 plus 40 divided by 2. Our mean is simply 20 minutes. Tama? Tama. Yun lang yun. Then, si standard deviation natin is simply b minus a divided by square root of 12. So, input lang sa calcu, 40 minus 0 divided by square root of 12. You'll end up with a standard deviation of 11.547. Minutes. Sorry. Kakalimutan si unit. The next, letter G. Ito na, si percentile. Sabi daw, what is the 85th percentile? So, graph ulit natin. Yan. We have 0, 40, and then 1 over 40. Pag sinabi mo kasing percentile, from the word percent, it is 1 out of 100. Diba? Ganun si percent. So, simply si percentile, ganun din daw. Ganun lang din siya. So, pag sinabing 85th percentile, sabihin natin, dito siya banda. Ito si K. Siya si 85th percentile. Pag sabi ng 85th percentile, from 0 or from your starting point up to your letter K, it is equivalent to 85% of your whole data. No? So, paano natin masosolve yun? We have two ways na pwedeng isolve. Simple lang, since alam natin saan nagre-range yung data natin, 0 to 40, no? We can say that the 85th percentile is equal to simply 0.85 times 40. No? So, 0.85 times 40 is 34. Yun na yun. The 85th percentile ay 34 minutes. Pa natin pa siya masosolve gamit yung area method. Okay, so we can say na itong area neto, yan, yung na-shaded na yan, ay equal to 0.85 K. Hindi. Yung area niya ay 0.85 na. Kasi nga 'di ba ang kabuuan ng area niyan ay 1 lang. Pero since 85th percentile ngayon hinahanap, you can say that yung area na 85th percentile ay 0.85. So 0.85 is equal to K minus 0, or yung base natin, since K nga yung hinahanap natin, K minus 0 times, alam natin yung height na 1 over 40. So 0.85 is equal to K divided by 40. So, multiply both sides by 40 para ma-cancel yung denominator. K is equal to, same lang, 40 times 0.85, 34 minutes. Okay, so ganun lang si percentile. Si quartile, ma-encounter natin sa next problems pa. So, nasolve na natin si number 1. Next, we have number 2. Sabi daw, the amount of time it takes a student to complete a chemistry test is uniformly distributed between 20 and 45 minutes. So, same lang. I-solve natin si f of x natin. Then, draw si graph. Then, letter C, what is the probability that a student will take more than 36 minutes to complete the exam? So, probability of x greater than 36 minutes. The next, what is the probability that a student will take between 26 and 35 minutes to complete the exam? So, probability of x is greater than 26 but less than 35 minutes. Then determine the median, the variance, and the standard deviation. So then, what is the value of the third quartile? No? So, kanina, percentile tayo. This term, quartile naman. What is the probability that a student will take more than 40 minutes given, so, ito na, given that he always takes more than 30 minutes to finish any chemistry test. So, may word na given. Na-discuss ko rin to nung module 2 yata. Kapag may sinabi kang given, may word na given. This is an example of a conditional probability. So, sabi daw, what is the probability of A given that event B will happen? So, paano ba yan? Paano i-solve yan? Ang formula lang yan, basically, ay probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of B. Okay? So, yun lang naman yun. Later, ma-explain pa natin paano siya gawin. Okay, so for letter A, again, hinahanap si PDF natin. So, f of x is simply, again, 1 divided by b minus a. So, 1 over, ano ba yung given natin kanina? Kanina 0 no? Pero dito 20 to 45 minutes na. So si B natin ay 45 minus 20 minutes. So we'll end up with f of x is equal to is equal to 1 over 25. Na yun. Then, letter B, pinapagraph ulit. Si PDF natin. So, simply, we have the x-axis, the f of x-axis. Then, hindi siya manggagaling sa 0, no? Kasi 0 yan lagi. So, manggagaling siya kay 20 minutes. Sabihin natin dito si 20. And dito si 45. So, from 20 up to our height na 1 over 25. Okay, so yan na yung PDF natin or yung graph ng PDF natin. Then next, letter C. Sabi kay letter C, what's the probability that a student will take more than 36 minutes to complete the exam? So probability of x greater than 36 minutes. So again, basic na basic, sabihin natin si 36. Ito yun, greater than 36 daw. So 36 to 45 minutes. Which is equal to our base na 45 minus 36 times our excuse me, our height na 1 over 25. Then we'll end up with a value na 9 over 25, which is equal to, wait lang, hindi ko na yung calculate. Equal to 36%. Okay? So, for letter D naman, you're asked to find the probability of x is greater than 26 but less than 35. So, basic na basic lang din. It is base, which is 35 minus 26 times 1 over 25, which is also equal to 9 over 25. Equal to 36% as well. Okay. So, proceed tayo to letter E. Sabi sa letter E, ang hinahanap ay mean, median, variance, and standard deviation. Sir, paano yun? Ang formula lang na alam natin ay mean at standard deviation. So, paano makuha natin si median at si variance? So, natin si median. Remember that pagdating sa uniform PDF, si median ay laging equal lang kay mean. Oh, nangyari. Okay, so since equal lang sila, we can say that for median, we can use the formula mean is equal to A plus B divided by 2. So, A plus B ay 20 plus 45 divided by 2. Our mean is equal to, or our median is equal to 32.5 minutes. Tama ba? Minutes ba yung minute dito? Tama, minutes. Na yun. The next, since ang variance, kung maaalala nyo, ito na sa taas. Variance is equal to simply our standard deviation squared. So, solve natin siya. Since alam natin yung formula ng standard deviation, it is B minus A divided by square root of 12. Simply, square lang natin to. No? So, we'll end up with 45 minus 20 divided by square root of 12 squared. Our variance is compute natin. 5 minus 20 divided by square root of 12 ay 52.08333. So, shift store kay A. Na yun. The next, for standard deviation, simply square root natin si variance, no? Hindi na natin kailangang ulitin to. Square root lang natin si variance. Standard deviation is equal to square root of alpha A, which is equal to square root of alpha A 7.216878365 minutes. Na yun. Then, next, we have letter F na value of the third quartile. No? So, pag sinabing quartile, from the word quarter, yung data set mo ay i-divide mo into 4. So, you can say that your third quartile ay 3 over 4. No? So, simply, para natin makuha yan, gamitan natin ng area method din para mas ma-elaborate natin. So, since your third quartile is equal to 3/4 of your data, you can say that its area is equal to 0.75 of your whole data. Kasi nga, again, our total area ay 1. So, pag third quartile, 3/4 ng 1 ay 0.75. So, you can say that 0.75 is equal to, ilagyan natin ng graph para mas ma-visualize nyo. Again, dito si 20, ito si 45. Then, somewhere here daw, si third quartile, or sabihin natin K. So, itong kabuuan na to ay 0.75. Okay, so kabuuan, yan yung 0.75. Hinahanap natin yung value nito. So, its area ay base times height. So, ano yung base? K minus 20 times your height na 1 over 25. No? So, multiply muna natin both sides by 25 para ma-cancel to. So, 0.75 times 25 ay simply equal to 18.75 is equal to, na-cancel na to, no? So, K minus 20. Then, transpose it 20. K is equal to 18.75 plus 20 ay 38.75. Yun lang yun. So, the value of your third quartile is equal to 38.75 minutes. Then last, sabi daw, what is the probability, conditional siya, no? What is the probability that a student will take more than 40 minutes given that he always takes more than 30 minutes to finish any chemistry test? So, paano natin susulat yon? Probability of x is greater than 40 given that x is greater than 30. So, again, yung formula niyan ay probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of B. So, sir, paano natin isosolve yun? So, burahin mo natin itong nasa kaliwa. Copyin nyo na para, kasi kulang na sa space. So, transfer natin dito. For G, sabi daw, probability that x is greater than 40 given that x is greater than 30. So, since ang formula nga ay ito, probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So, bigyan natin siya ng graph. So, again, ito si 20, ito si 45. Then, sabi daw, bigyan natin somewhere, nandito raw si 40. Then, nandito si 30 banda. Sabi, probability of A intersection B. Since si A natin ay ito. So, palitan natin ng kulay. Si A ay greater than 40 daw. So, nandito siya. Then, si B ay probability of X greater than 30. So, lahat ng greater than 30 ay ito. Yan. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, ano intersection nila? Ano intersection nila? Kasi sabi daw, ang ang formula ay probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of B. So, saan lang ba sila nag-intersect? Dito lang. Ito. Yan. Or simply, you can say that it is the probability of X is greater than 40. Diba? Since ito lang naman yun, ito yung intersection nilang dalawa. Saan ba naka-align yan? Dito, sa 40. So, 40 to 45 or simply, X is greater than 40. Divided by probability of B, which is simply, itong kabuuan na to. Yan. Probability that X is greater than 30. Yun na yun. So, solve natin. Probability of X is greater than 40. Anong value nun? Area method. 45 minus 40 times your height na 1 over 25. Then divided by probability of X greater than 30. So, 45 minus 30 times 1 over 25. So, cancel na tong 1 over 25. Matitira sa atin ay 5 over 15. Or simply, 1/3. So, final answer, the probability that X is greater than 40 given that X is greater than 30 is equal to 33.3333%. Para sa mga di nakakalam, ano yung bar? Pag sinabing bar, decimal, it is never ending. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Never ending yan. Since hindi nga kasi divisible si 1 kay 3. Okay? So, yun lang naman yung example problems natin for the uniform probability density function. So, proceed naman tayo next kay normal probability density function. So, sana naalala nyo pa yung bell curve, Sana na-notes nyo yung values nun. So, sabi daw, the test scores of a physics class with 800 students are normally distributed with a mean of 75. So, given si mean. And a standard deviation of 7. So, given din si SD natin. So, what percentage of the class has a test score between 68 and 82? Then, approximately how many students have a test score between 61 and 89? And what's the probability that a student chosen at a random has a test score between 54 and 75? Then last, approximately how many students have a test score greater than or equal to 96?